Top 10 Tools for Autism. Personal list. Number 10. Discussing your feelings. Sure, some people find it helpful when they find someone to talk about their feelings to. But the way I see it, whenever a question is asked to me, that gives off a little sensation I like to call the spotlight effect. During this effect, I automatically assume I have 5 seconds to answer in full. Or risk the consequence of having my answer lost for all eternity. Oh, sorry. Did you need more time? No. I was giving it up, but I decided to waste it. Poor kid. Number 9. Journalism. Like the last one, journalism has almost the same effect as talking to somebody does. But one of the perks of journalism is that there's no time limit, so that I can think for as long as I need to. And the best part is that I can write down pretty much anything, because I found the silence to be more comfortable. I tend to feel awkward about sharing my thoughts and ideas when I'm unprepared. Number 1, because there's something about me that gets afraid of reactions to my work, whether pleased or disturbed. Number 2, don't just go prying through my stuff without my permission. Number 8. Video game. I know video games aren't really much of a tool, but more of a leisurely activity. But I find myself more accustomed to watching video game walkthroughs on my iPad rather than playing them. And if I happen to observe an interesting game mechanic, I take note of how I can use it in everyday life. One good example is WarioWare's microgame mechanic. If I'm given a certain task that involves body movement of some sort, I observe what I have to do, then I show myself a form that I have to copy prior to the task, just like in the game. Then I take my position based on the form, and then I give myself a fewer reminder of what to do in my head, like sweep it up, and I keep the task fixed in my mind to help me focus on what I need to do. Yeah, I've taken influence and inspiration from a lot of games. But if a game includes some wrong things, I usually try to either focus in an alternative for that mechanic, or just forget it completely and move on. Number 7. Moments of deep, intense focus like these are essential in keeping my emotions regulated, but it somewhat depends on the things that are happening in the environment that really affect my focus. But if I can just avoid those distractions, then I'll achieve deep focus easily. Huh? Oh, I blinked. How unfortunate. Number 6. A bowl of water. Stress can sometimes build up unhealthy heat in my body, so having a water bottle with me helps with regulating my stress. I'm a daily water drinker, so I'm used to the cooling sensation of water being gulped down my throat, keeping me hydrated. One of the downsides of drinking water all the time is that I have to pee every 10 minutes. And sometimes it gets so carried away from drinking my water that... all gone. Again. And then I go back and refill the bottle, and the cycle continues over and over again. Number 5. Fidgets! From fidget spinners to modern-day poppers, there's something for everyone on the spectrum. My personal favorite has to be thinking putty due to its highly moldable properties. Unlike stress balls, putty has no way of permanently breaking no matter how hard you squeeze, pull, or mold it. It can also be pretty fun to see what shapes I can mold it into. But whatever you do, never drop your putty on the floor! Number 4. Isolation. Before or after moments of intense anxiety, either I or the teacher prompts me to take these brief hallway breaks. And in those moments, one of 3 things can happen at a time, as well as a different one that follows after. My stress level can either go up as a trauma response or from the fear of missing out, go down and take comfort in the fact that this was probably for the better, or just be fixed in place. No change whatsoever. And later on, the teacher comes out to chat for a bit before letting me decide what to do next. And the choice I most opt for is to take a... in one of the special ed room's chairs. Number 3. Deep breathing. There's almost nothing that can beat the reassuring relief that comes from these deep breaths, in my opinion. The idea of being able to close your eyes, to isolate yourself from society for a moment, to take a literal breather, is kinda one of the best ways to calm myself down in an emergency. And when I'm ready to head back to reality, I just open my eyes and try to carry the tranquility all the way to the end while still practicing my breaths and doing what needs done. Number 2. Headphones. Headphones are a great tool to help me concentrate on certain tasks while also keeping noise out. They can also provide some pretty decent background noise during a walk. And if I feel really into the music, I start to step to its rhythm and play my own rhythm game. For the normal beat of the song, I stick to a normal metronome pattern in my steps. To spice it up, when I sniff once, I add an extra step between beats 3 and 4. And when I sniff twice, another step is added after beat 4. And even crazier is the 2-beat breath, where my steps delay after beats 1 and 3 after the previous 4 beats. And if you don't know what I just said, just remember that my favorite genre of music is lo-fi. Number 1. Huga moments. I could go on all day to tell you how wonderful Huga feels, but I'll keep it brief. For those unfamiliar with the term, Huga is a Danish word that refers to a feeling of coziness and well-being. Some of the things that contribute to this feeling are things like the warm glow and sweet sense of a candle, the feeling of being wrapped and hugged in a big, warm, fluffy, and/or potentially weighted blanket, and purely the fact that this is a peaceful moment of silence to enjoy and embrace. And considering how happy I can feel in these moments sometimes, Huga could possibly be the best coping strategy, maybe ever. But even so, I'm also paranoid about someone else entering my moment because they could make some potential noise. And because of that awkwardness, I decide to take my things and go somewhere else to decompress. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not the people I hate. It's just that I have a varying limit to how much I want to be stimulated at a given time. And I'm sure all of us could use a break once in a while from all that social hustle and bustle. I've been practicing this art of Huga in secret for quite some time now, but now is the time I can tell you about it. I've grown so attached to this art that it's sort of become my unique love language. That's because whenever I'm tucked under a blanket, I get this relaxing and reassuring feeling that the blanket is whispering this to me. Hey, you're gonna be okay. You're done for the day. So take a moment to rest under my covers. You deserve it for making it to the end of the day. And it's that warm, protective, comforting feeling that makes me feel a great amount of love. And so, as I feel safe and protected, I drift off into a peaceful and calming rest. Thanks for watching.